The Hudson, a river whose majesty is made even greater by New York, the urban giant sitting on its southernmost shores. These shores are now the subject of heated debate, as 4.5 miles of Manhattan's west side are slated for development. New York has already developed other waterfront areas, but years of neglect and failed strategies have stalled plans for the west side. Planners are working on new designs, but community leaders say city and state governments are not listening to their concerns.
What they want to do is build platforms like the decking that this pier is built on to develop residential high-rise buildings. Our primary concern is the environmental soundness of this area, to leave the river undisturbed, free of any mega development or any development at all in the water. We're talking trees and grass and a natural environment which would enhance the livability of the city.
From Battery Park City to 42nd Street, community groups would like to see as much open space as possible. And by open space, they mean recreational development that leaves the riverfront open and visible, free for anyone who wants to come and visit. On warm days, these piers are filled with people who are sunbathing or just out for a stroll. The people who live here don't want to see high-rises or other private uses that aren't as open to the public. But the city and state want the tax dollars that could come from such valuable real estate. Battery Park City is an example of such development. Built on landfill in the Hudson, it combines business and residential high-rise projects with public spaces. There's a yacht harbor, shops, restaurants, and a free concert program. An esplanade along the river is popular with residents, office workers, and tourists. City and state officials working on plans for the waterfront say a balance must be struck between the conflicting sides.
If I could characterize what all of the panel members would want, I think it is that they would prefer as much open space and public access and recreational uses on the waterfront as possible. But they must also find a way to pay for that. Private interests will certainly have a great deal to do with what that waterfront looks like ultimately.
South Street Seaport is an example of private development on the East River. Popular with tourists, it combines a downtown locale and maritime theme. But other waterfront uses keep the public out, like this marina on the east side or this prison barge in Greenwich Village. Another type of waterfront development is apartments. These are just the sort of thing people on the west side say they're fighting against. They're built directly over the East River, on platforms supported by pilings buried deep into the riverbed. But on the west side, it's most likely a compromise will be worked out that brings pieces of what all sides want. No decision is expected until next spring, and it'll be at least 4 years before any kind of construction starts. One thing's for sure, New York has an opportunity to create a vibrant new edge to the city. Jim Turner, NYU News.